Tassel back with you, continuing on with our recap for Week 14 of the NFL season. These are the early games. Kansas City 26-15 over the Oakland Raiders. Oakland drops to 6-7. Kansas City now 7-6. Oakland, it's going to be tough now. They have lost some big games, and this one chasing the team in first place. I'm pretty sure Kansas City has already beaten Oakland thus far this year, so going to be tough for them. Kansas City trying to get back their footing is now 7-6, 4-2 at home, 2-4 on the road, respectively. Derek Carr 24 of 41, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Marshawn Lynch, 7 carries, 61 yards, 8.7 per rush, 1 touchdown. DeAndre Washington, 4 of 9. The team, 11 carries for 70 yards, 6.4 yards per rush. Jared Cook, top receiver, 5 of 75, 1 touchdown. Michael Crabtree, 7 of 60. Seth Roberts, 3 of 24. Johnny Holton, 2 of 18. Johnny Holton lost a fumble. The team had 4 sacks. Bruce Irvin, 2. Khalil Mack, 1. Navarro Bowman, the other. Carl Joseph had an interception, no punt returns or kick returns. Giorgio Tavecchio did not attempt any field goals for the Chiefs. Alex Smith, 20 of 34, 268 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Kareem Hunt, 25 carries, 116 yards, 4.6 per rush, 1 touchdown. Charkandrick West, 3 of 25, 8.3 per rush, a touchdown. The team, 33 of 165, 5 yards per rush. Tyreek Hill, top receiver, 4 of 75, a longest of 44. We'll talk about that in a minute. Travis Kelce, 7 of 74, receiving. Albert Wilson, 5 of 72. Demetrius Thomas, 1 of 25. Frank Zombo recovered a fumble. The team had 3 sacks. Jarvis Jenkins, Chris Jones, and Justin Houston. Stephen Terrell, Terrence Mitchell had interceptions. DeAnthony Thomas had a 20-yard kick return. Tyreek Hill, 3 punt returns of 7 yards. Harrison Butler, 4 for 4 in his field goals. Look, with Oakland, you've got to take advantage of Marcus Peters being out. They were not able to do it. Probably abandoned the running game a little too much. I didn't really pay much attention to this game. They were down by 26-0 and then scored 15 in the fourth quarter, so they really had to abandon it. Okay, so that makes sense because I really wasn't paying attention to this game at all. Tough loss for them, as we said. Look, for the Chiefs, you get back to their winning ways, at least for this game, and it's Kareem Hunt, good game, 4.6 per rush, 25 carries, 116 yards. Charkandrick West, okay, 3 of 25, not many carries, but you also had Smith, 5 for 24. Tyreek Hill, along of 44. Travis Kelce, consistent. Albert Wilson, 5 of 72, giving another option to Tyreek Hill. A lot of talk about Alex Smith, whether they should or should not make a quarterback change. Alex Smith has played better than this, and they've lost games. So it shows that you can't just always look at Alex Smith. He's such an easy target, but it's the running game. It's having Tyreek Hill get downfield. It's having the complementary piece in Albert Wilson, and he did have a 36-yarder. Those deep passes. So talk what you want about Alex Smith, but it's most important that they run the ball, and the defense played well without Marcus Peters. So those are the big things in this one for them moving forward. Carolina got the victory 31-24 over the Minnesota Vikings. Carolina 9-4. Minnesota drops to 10-3. Case Keenum 27 of 44, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jerick McKinnon 7 carries, 46 yards, 6.6 per rush. Case Keenum 5 of 48 yards per rush. The team 21 of 100, 4.8 yards per rush. Adam Thielen, 6 receptions, 105 yards, a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 6 of 64. Kyle Rudolph, 3 of 41, a touchdown. Laquan Treadwell, 2 of 23. Case Keenum lost a fumble. Marcus Sherrills fumbled and it was recovered. Not giving me the defensive stats, so we'll just have to deal with that. Marcus Sherrills, a kick return of 27. Mac Brown, a 17-yard kick return. Marcus Sherrills, 5 punt returns, 54 yards, 10.8 average, which is good, but a longest of 29, so you take that off. That's 4 of 23. 5, over 5 yards per return is okay, but it's not 10.8. Kai Forbath, 3.4 or 3 out of 4 in his field goals for the Panthers. It bothers me with this box score that they can't figure it out. The game's ended a long time ago. Cam Newton, 13-25, 137 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Jonathan Stewart, 16 carries, 103 yards, 6.4 per rush, 3 touchdowns. Cam Newton, 11 of 70, 6.4 yards per rush. Cam Newton had a big 62-yarder, though, so he really wasn't running the ball effectively at all. Prior to that, he had less yardage than attempts. Christian McCaffrey, 8 of 35, 4.4. 36 of 216, 6 yards per rush with the 3 touchdowns for the team, so you can get away with Cam Newton not having the big game passing. Devin Funchess, 3 of 59, receiving a touchdown. Damiere Byrd, 5 of 37. Christian McCaffrey, 3 of 18. Brenton Burson, 1 of 17. Mike Adams recovered a fumble. The team had 6 sacks. Kyle Love, 1. Julius Peppers, 1. Mario Addison, 1. Kawan Short had 2, and Luke Kuechly had 1. James Bradbury and Darrell Worley, the 2 young corners, both had interceptions. Good to see there. Demir Bird, 2 kick returns, 38 yards. David Mayo, 1 of 10. Kalen Clay had a 7-yard punt return. Graham Gano, 1 of 1 in his field goals. We'll start with the Panthers. Look, you can only go so far with this current team set up the way that they are, with Cam Newton, playing Superman as he does many times, having that big rush. The defense did play very well in this game. Transitioning into Minnesota, Case Keenum, look, he was due for a bad game. Let's hope this doesn't really cause his confidence to wane. That's the last thing you want with Teddy Bridgewater waiting in the wings as this team moves to the playoffs. He's just got to move forward from this. He was under pressure all night, did have the fumble. So you'll have to see. Let's hope he just bounces back and moves forward from this one and plays better in the future, so we're not questioning that as we move on whether or not Teddy Bridgewater will be getting the start. And here we go with another missing box score for Houston, but it's a pretty meaningless game. So San Francisco 26-16 over the Texans. San Francisco is now 3-10. Houston drops to 4-9. Jimmy Garoppolo 20 of 33, 334 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Carlos Hyde 14 of 78, 1 touchdown. Matt Breida 12 of 27. That's 5.6, 2.3 per rush. Jimmy Garoppolo did have 5 carries for -3 yards. I'm assuming there were some kneel downs. So 31 of 102, 3.3 yards per rush is looks a little worse than it does because of the Garoppolo kneel downs. Marquise Goodwin 6 receptions, 106 yards. Garrett Selleck 2 of 67, 1 touchdown. Kyle Juszczyk 3 of 64. Nice distribution in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys caught passes. 7 of them more than 1. Aaron Lynch recovered a fumble. The team had 3 sacks. DeForest Buckner, Kawan Williams, and Eli Harrell. No interceptions. Victor Bolden Jr., 2 kick returns, 42 yards. 2 punt returns, 15 yards. Robbie Gould, 4 for 4 in his field goals. We have the defensive stats for Houston. DeAndre White recovered a fumble. The team had 2 sacks. One was LaTroy Lewis. The other was split between Zach Cunningham and Brian Cushing. Kareem Jackson had an interception. DeAndre White, 4 punt returns for 3 yards, not good at all. And especially considering one of them was all 3, and Kymene Fairbairn 1 for 2 in his field goals. So San Francisco, look, very nice game by Jimmy Garoppolo. You'd like to see how they play. Again, they can really just play well. They can play to win. I know it's unpopular to say whether teams are tanking or not. I don't even want to get involved in that. But they can focus everything on just developing these last couple games with Garoppolo. You had him last week. You have him this week. You have 3 games left because they traded out of that pick. Now they had last year, and now they have their quarterback anyway. So really, it's not critical that they finish in the bottom rung, especially when teams are going to be choosing quarterbacks early. You would expect that if you're at 5 instead of at 2 for a draft pick, that you will be all right moving forward. You don't have to worry about that because you got your guy. And certainly, the better Garoppolo plays, the better that decision will look. He's just got to get more comfortable in the offense. And of course, Houston, it's just been a complete disastrous season for them with injuries. The Cowboys 30-10 over the New York Giants. Still fighting for their playoff lives are the Cowboys. A lot of things are not breaking their way today. They are now 7-6, 4-2 on the road. That means they're 3-4 at home. It's just terrible, but obviously, they play more road games than home. The rest of the way, Giants dropped to 2-11. And again, no offensive box score stats for the Giants. My apologies. Dak Prescott was 20 of 30, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Alfred Morris, 19 carries, 62 yards, 3.3 per rush. Rod Smith, 6 of 47, 7.8. 1 touchdown. Dak Prescott, 6 of 13. The team was 31 of 122, 3.9 yards per rush. Rod Smith, 5 receptions, 113 yards, and 81-yard touchdown. Des Bryant, 3 of 73, a 50-yard touchdown. Cole Beasley, 3 of 59. He did have a 54-yarder. That was huge. Jason Witten had a 20-yard touchdown reception. No fumbles. The team had no sacks. Sean Lee and Jeff Heath both had interceptions. Another interception must have happened after I turned the game off. Ryan Switzer, 2 kick returns for 50 yards, longest of 28, average of 25. Cole Beasley, 2 punt returns of 19, longest of 15, however, on 9.5 average. Ryan Switzer, 2 of 17, 8.5. That's pretty good, though, considering with punt returns, you'll take those average with the longest. Don't really buoy the numbers too far. Dan Bailey was 1 for 3 in his field goals and mixed an extra point. That could be a cause for concern. He's certainly a very accurate kicker, but you don't want to see these guys lose confidence down the stretch. Got to give you just the Giants, other stats. Eric Flowers recovered a fumble. The team had no sacks, no interceptions. Khalif Raymond, 3 kick returns, 48 yards, 16 yard per return. Special teams were big in this game. Shane Vereen, 1 of 20. On the kick returns, not very good in the kick returns, and Khalif Raymond had 1 punt return for -3 yards. Aldrick Rosas made his only field goal. Cowboys were giving the Giants every opportunity to get into this game. Probably some calls Giants fans don't like. I thought they were both good. No calls both ways. There was one they threw a flag on where Awuzie hit the guy coming across. It was clearly a clean hit. You can say I'm a Cowboys homer. I don't really care because it was clearly a clean hit. On this one, you could say I'm a Cowboys fan talking. Jordan Lewis was defending Evan Ingram when the game was still in doubt. I thought Jordan Lewis got his head turned, and they didn't throw a flag. I'm sure Giants fans would see it differently, but if you get your head turned, you may get away with calls. There was a terrible call on the first possession where the Giants fumbled, and they gave him the first down because the guy had the first down who fumbled, but then the ball went back behind the marker, and they recovered it there. It was one of the just bizarre things you see from NFL officiating these days. Cowboys offense was struggling. Dan Bailey missed field goals. They got it together in the fourth quarter. Of course, the big plays. They had the Cole Beasley touchdown. They got the Des Bryant 50-yarder at the end of the first half. They were also dropping passes in the first half, which was big. And then Rod Smith and Cole Beasley were able to break it open as the Cowboys keep their faint playoff hopes alive. All right, when the 4 o'clock games go final, we will give you the recap of those. And, of course, we appreciate all subscriptions as well. Thank you all very much, and we will catch you later on. Thank you.